The following are actual t-shirt slogans pitched to the Splunk t-shirt company. No tech workers were harmed in the making of this video.
Shirts. We all know threats are threatening. But what threatens a threat? The threat threatener. Do you like it?
Push the button.
Well, wait, no, I have more. Wait, sir, I have more. Wait, don't threat the small stuff.
May AI
have this dance?
In the SOC, we rock.
Go ahead, make my AI.
What the spud is going on here?
Quicksand!
I can explain.
So do it.
No. That's the line. AI can EXSPL lane. Yeah?
Should we? Boss?
I love it. It's genius. Live from New York. Boston. It's go time.
Welcome to .conf25. please welcome Splunk Senior Vice President and General Manager, Kamal Happy.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, I'm almost tempted to say, pinch me, because that's a dream. It feels like a dream. It's a dream I've been having for nearly 20 years. You know, I used to work at Microsoft for about 2 decades. And every year, every single year, when .conf came around, I'll watch. I'll watch with amazement. I'll watch this amazing community. And I'll watch a little bit of jealousy. Because I couldn't have this. I couldn't have this amazing, amazing community that makes this absolutely amazing conference. .conf is unique. And guess what? Here I am. Well, hang on. You know what? It's my first .conf. First time here. And here I am. I landed literally on main stage with that thing. It's gone, the parachute. And I'm this agent. Look at my T-shirt. Right? And it's only possible with you all, with Splunk, with .conf. So with that, welcome everyone to .conf 2025. Woo! Yes. And it's going to be an amazing event. It's an incredible event. And you know why? Because of you all. It's because of this amazing community. The statistics, they speak for themselves. It's just astonishing to me. Again, 20 years, I've been jealously watching this, and this is just fantastic. And the most amazing thing, the most wonderful thing about this community, about Splunk, is the versatility of all the different things that all of you are building across so many different domains, against so many different industries. And that is just fantastic. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you all who work across these different domains, the different industries. I want to thank everyone who's come from all over the world, all over the globe, to be here to join us at .conf. Because you're the ones who are protecting these national infrastructures. You're making it possible for the world's monetary supply to flow. You are the ones providing healthcare to make that possible, consumer goods, and so much more. And what's astonishing to me is the scale, the sheer scale of what you make possible. Look at that. What does it say? 2.6 exabytes ingested every year, 300 billion searches. The impact you're having is incredible. Thank you so much, and congratulations for all that you do and all that you make possible. Yeah, you can give yourself a hand clap. That's right, that's for you. That's all right. And as we come in, and you hear a lot of talk about AI because the AI era is upon us. And as we talk about AI, our approach is one where we think about it in 2 ways. One is resilience, observability, security for AI, making AI itself trustworthy. So you can't trust it, can't use it. And a second thing is with AI, giving you the tools, the ability to stay ahead at machine scale and machine speed of what AI is doing. And you'll hear Jeetu Patel talk a lot about this just in a couple of minutes. But before that, let's start and talk about what's ahead in this week. There's a lot of stuff here, and my encouragement to you is, please take advantage of all that's there ahead of us in the next few days. Tomorrow, 8:30, bright and early, I know you can get up, 8:30, we've got the day 2 product keynote. And we'll go in and talk more about what we hear today, followed by the product keynote deep dive. So we'll go even deeper, even more detail, and talk about these things. And then don't forget the show floor. If you haven't been there, man, that's an amazing place. But the reason it's amazing is you can get your hands on, really hands-on, and try out all these different things we'll be showing on stage today. And then Wednesday, Wednesday is a search party. Right? Right? Yeah. With Weezer. We're going to have a search party with Weezer, and it's going to be epic. Talking of epic, please join me and welcome Jitu Patel, President and Chief Product Officer of Cisco. Jitu.
How's everyone doing? That's great. This is my second .conf. Last year when I came here, the thing that blew my mind was just the energy and the power of this community. And I've always felt like, good companies make great products, but movements happen because of communities like this. So thank you again for being here, and thank you for being the supporters for Splunk that you are. So, the commitment we had made last year to you folks, if you remember, was we had said, one of the asks from everyone was, Cisco, please don't screw up Splunk. I think that's a very low bar. We're going to make Splunk epic, and you're going to see that today. And great. And what I thought we'd do is invest and nurture this community, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have innovations for the next era that even blow your minds. So I'm going to spend time today in the next 30 minutes or so in walking you through some of the most amazing work that this team has been up to. And so thank you again for this community. We think you're the superpower and the secret sauce for us. Let's start by first taking a step back on what's happening in the market, and then I want to go into the details on what we are actually doing in the product innovation side. But we are actually in a very special time living in tech, where we are in the next era of AI. And what I mean by the next era of AI is the first era was this kind of notion of chatbots which intelligently answered our questions. About 3 years ago when ChatGPT came about, there was this magical moment that took everyone by storm, right? And it was great for humans being able to talk to AI. It was great for individual productivity. We're now squarely moving into the second era of AI, which essentially is agents being able to conduct jobs and tasks for us almost fully autonomously, right? And this is going to be much more about automation of workflows rather than just individual productivity. Now, what this is going to do is when you start seeing this capacity of agents augmented to the human workforce of 8 billion people, the throughput capacity is going to feel as though we have 80 billion people. And there's going to be this exponential compounding of throughput capacity per capita that you're going to see over the course of the next few years. And it's a pretty, these kind of shifts in the platform only happen once every 10 to 15 years, but I think this particular one is one that I don't think we'll have seen in our lifetimes. And so all of this is going to have massive implications on technology architectures that we're going to have, that we deal with on a day-to-day basis in this audience. And what we should be thinking about is what are the constraints that might hold us back on AI? And there's going to be 3 kind of impediments that I believe are going to hold us back on AI that we should probably think about and then go into the details on what we might be able to do as a community together. So the first one is this notion of an infrastructure constraint. We physically don't have enough power, compute, and bandwidth to satiate the demands of what AI is going to ask for over the course of the next few years. So that's the first constraint. The second is that there's going to be a trust deficit. Like Kamal said, if you don't trust these systems, it's very hard to use them. And then the third is a data gap. So let's talk about each of these in a little bit of detail. So when you start thinking about the infrastructure constraint, what we're talking about over here is, like I said, power, compute, and networking being the 3 things which are constrained. You're starting to see epic proportions of data center build-outs all throughout the world. But what you're starting to see happen is the pattern of inferencing is changing quite dramatically as you move into this agentic era. So when you were in this chatbot era, you would have this spiky kind of inferencing burst that would be required. You ask a question, that'd be a spike, and you'd get an answer back, right? Now what you're starting to see is these agents are working 7 by 24 And as they're working 7 by 24, you're seeing a much more sustained, persistent demand as these automations start to occur. And so you're going to see a very different pattern of infrastructure demand that you'll have in the future compared to what you've had in the past. Now, this is going to get even further compounded as this duration of autonomous execution gets longer. And what I mean by that is today, if you think about an agent, probably the one that we're all most familiar with is deep research, right? How many of you have used deep research from OpenAI? Yeah? Many have. So with deep research, what happens is you ask it a question, probably go get yourself a cup of coffee, and you come back, and it takes about 20 minutes, and it'll give you back a response, right? So the duration of autonomous execution is about 20 minutes. Now imagine as that duration extends to 2 hours, and 2 days, and 2 weeks, and 2 quarters. The value accretion you're going to see as the duration of autonomous execution goes up is going to be pretty material to society. So we have to make sure that we're actually providing the right level of infrastructure to not hold AI back. So that's the first kind of impediment for AI that we have to keep in mind. The second is this notion of a trust deficit. And a trust deficit, the way I think about it is if you can't see something up and down the stack, you're not going to be able to trust it. You have to have visibility to be able to trust the system. So that's the first thing that you have to keep in mind, is everything from silicon to agent, can you actually provide end-to-end visibility? That's number one, as part of the trust deficit. But the second part is this notion of the model itself introducing a whole new set of threat vectors that we've not had so far. Right? These models, by definition, they're called non-deterministic, which means they're unpredictable, which means that they have a mind of their own, and they sometimes behave in ways that you would not think that they would behave. And you need to make sure that you have safety guardrails around them. So if you think about aspects like hallucinations, or toxicity, or behavior for self-harm, or externally when there's an attack to a model, like a prompt injection attack, those things have to be detected so that you know that this model is actually not going to behave the way that you want it to behave. And then you have to make sure that there's the right level of guardrails that can be put around it. In the absence of this trust deficit, most people won't use these systems. So that's a pretty important dimension to keep in mind, is safety and security, which become prerequisites for the actual adoption of AI. Third is the data gap. Most of you are very familiar with. And let me explain what the data gap is, because if you think in the past few years, data, it's no secret that data is the essential fuel that unlocks AI. Right? These models get trained with data, and over the course of the past 3 years, actually more than 3 years, 6, 7 years, the industry's done a pretty darn good job of training these models with human-generated data, whether it be text or images or video. To train these models, we've done a pretty good job with it. What we haven't done as good a job with is training it on machine-generated data. Metrics, events, logs, traces, other telemetry. We haven't been able to go out and train these models on it so that they can actually look at time series data. Imagine if you could organize this machine data to train these models so that they can generate the relevant insights that you're looking for. It's a massively untapped opportunity, right? And so we believe that the world needs a machine data platform for the AI era, right? And so there are three major, the three impediments that I talked about. There's an infrastructure constraint that we should keep in mind. There's a trust deficit, and then there's a data gap, specifically a data gap around machine data. So if those are the three impediments for adoption, the good news over here is that Cisco is actually working on every single one of these challenges head on. We provide low latency, high performance networking with very high energy efficiency for the data center. We provide safety and security so that you can actually detect if a model is going to behave in a way that you don't want it to behave, validate that model, provide runtime enforcement guardrails. We provide observability for the entirety of the stack, and we have a data platform that we use that's only getting better and better over time, and you'll see a lot more of that today. And so what this means, and what we want to do at Cisco, is provide all of you a promise that Cisco is going to be the critical infrastructure for the AI era. Now, the questions and the business outcomes that we want to generate, and then I want to go into the details of what Splunk is doing. The business outcomes that we want to generate are, number one, we want to make sure that we can provide technologies for an infrastructure for building out AI-ready data centers. That's where the digital workers are going to live. Right? That's number one. Number two, workplaces where we all work, whether it be a campus, branch, home office, your car, a factory floor, a store. We want to make sure that those workplaces get future-proof for AI, especially as you start having IoT devices and robotics start getting in over there as well. Your infrastructure has to be able to accommodate the new additions. And number three is all of that infrastructure has to be resilient. And Splunk, by the way, is critical to all of these outcomes, especially digital resilience. And so what I want to do over the course of the next few minutes is talk about specifically what we're doing to make sure that every organization is as resilient as they can possibly be with the use of AI, with the use of data, with the ability to make sure that you can correlate the data. Because this challenge of digital resilience is actually a data problem. And it's a very complex problem to solve. And let me actually just spend a moment or two on why it's such a hard problem to solve. Whenever there's an outage that we all experience, the first few hours of that outage tends to be around investigating why that outage occurred and then detecting the outage. Right? That's typically where we spend most of our time. And then once you've actually determined what the outage is, you spend the remainder of the time then on the response and remediation side. But that upfront time that's spent on investigation and detection, we have to compress that time, right? And this is where Splunk is central to this whole thing, because if we do this in the right way, Splunk, combined with the telemetry that Cisco can provide, plus the telemetry that we have from the entire world, actually can start correlating so you can compress the time for investigation, improve detections, and make response and remediation as fast as possible. That's the promise that we want to make sure that we can go out and deliver. And over the course of the past 18 months or so, the Cisco team and the Splunk teams have been working very well together in ensuring that there's a tremendous amount of harmony between the products, and the telemetry from Cisco is being integrated into Splunk. And I don't have time to go through every single one of these areas, but what I want to do is walk you through one particular area that I'm really excited about that's going to lower your cost of using Splunk, and it's actually going to make sure that your detections get better, right? And that is our ability to now be able to ingest firewall logs from Cisco firewalls for free into Splunk. Yep. We thought the cost would motivate this team. All right, the second big area that's actually really interesting and important is this notion of making sure that we have the right visibility and the right level of trust, right? And so if we think about the entire stack, we want to make sure that we have observability, not just for the entire stack, but observability for AI, for the entire stack, from silicon all the way to the agent. That means, how does your GPU get utilized? How is your model performing? What are your token economics looking like? We need to make sure that we can provide you full transparency from an observability standpoint. You're going to hear a bunch of this tomorrow, where you'll see some very, very exciting innovations that the team has made. Secondly, if you think about safety and security for AI, the future of the SOC is going to be agentic. You'll see some really exciting announcements tomorrow about the future of the SOC being agentic. But what we've also got is the ability to now secure AI itself. So when you have a model, or when you have a whole slew of models that you're using within your organization, how do you make sure that you can have a consistent substrate of security that goes across all the models so that regardless of which model you use, you can have some degree of predictability in the behavior? That requires that you have the right level of visibility. That requires that you have the right level of validation of the model, and then can apply runtime enforcement guardrails. And we do that with AI Defense, which is now fully integrated into Splunk. So you're starting to see a fair amount of kind of innovation that's happened over the course of the past 12 months. But frankly, even all of this is just the tip of the iceberg, because the opportunity is so much larger as we start thinking about the data that can be used to more effectively get correlated so you can harness the full potential of AI. But that requires that we completely unlock the value of machine data to harness the potential of AI. And that's what I want to spend some time talking about next. And so, if you think about unlocking the value of machine data, Splunk has always been a leader in unlocking the value of machine data. This isn't a new thing. This is something that we've been doing for 20 years. But now what we want to do is we want to specifically do that for AI, right? And so let me give you an example based on a concept that you folks have all heard about, which is, everyone's heard about the butterfly effect, right? What is the butterfly effect? A small variance somewhere can trigger a massive change that can have a completely unexpected outcome in some other completely unrelated part of the business. And this is true more now in infrastructure management than anywhere else in the world. It's true more now in detecting breaches than anywhere else in the world, this notion of a butterfly effect. So imagine this. Imagine you have a scenario where a small 1 degree change in temperature in either a switch or a device that you might have within your data center can fundamentally disrupt your long-term operations of that data center, right? You have to be able to first detect the undetectable. Second, we have to be able to make sure that we can react autonomously so that if that requires a proactive rate limiting or redirection of traffic, we can do that. And then third, we should be able to make sure that we can anticipate the future and say, let's automatically provide fixes and prevent this from ever happening again. So if you think about those 3 distinct areas, you can detect the things that were undetectable, you can react autonomously, and you can anticipate the future. One of the things that you'll find is achieving this with ML, with machine learning, is typically pretty difficult. Why is that? Well, because you might not have enough data scientists within your organization. You might not have enough domain experts that you need to have to go out and program the models in the right way. Your data might be spread across multiple different silos. You have poor data quality and not enough context of that data that's being provided to everyone. It's too time-consuming, and it's too expensive to build. These are all real challenges that we're all facing as IT practitioners within our organizations, right? And so we've been thinking about this long and hard at Cisco and at Splunk, saying, how do we solve this problem? And what do we do to really make sure that we leapfrog the possibilities that have up until now been there in the solution space? And so I'm delighted to announce a completely revolutionary new architecture called the Cisco Data Fabric that is essentially going to be able to harness the value of machine data with AI. Right? It's a completely brand new concept. And let me walk you through what the 3 things are that this revolutionary architecture does. Number 1, it actually operates machine data at ludicrous scale. And by the way, we've always done things at very high scale. But I think it's not been efficient every single time on doing some of these things. So let's talk about that. Number 2, we want to make sure that we can unlock your proprietary data for your AI. Because unlike in human-generated data, we had enough kind of publicly available data in the public internet that you could train the models with. With machine data, it's typically pretty proprietary, right? And so you want to make sure that you can actually use that data to glean insights. And thirdly, we want to make sure that we can unify the experiences for the humans and agents. So how is this going to work? Let's go into each one of these things in a little bit more detail. So let's talk about operating machine data at ludicrous scale. Historically, what Splunk has always done is Splunk has always required that you take all of the data that you have and we have to ingest it into Splunk, right? Now, there's a couple things over here that people don't like about it. One of them is it can actually be costly to ingest all the data into Splunk. So last year, what we talked about was this kind of new concept, which is rather than having to have all the data be brought to Splunk, what if we took Splunk and we brought it to the data, right? And this whole notion of federation is what we launched last year, which means that I can have a federated store. You can keep your data wherever the data is, and I'll actually bring my search and analytics to your data. And that's what we actually talked about last year. That included a very big announcement we had last year, which was around this notion of Amazon S3 stores now being able to get federated, so you can keep that data there, and we can make sure that we can actually have search and analytics applied to data that's sitting in Amazon S3. So what we wanted to do this time around is we wanted to say, let's go out and try to expand the breadth of the federation. Because yes, Amazon S3 is a great kind of data store to go out and have, but we need to have many, many more data stores that we can incorporate for this federation. So I'm delighted to announce a partnership that we now have with Snowflake, where Snowflake will become one of those federated data stores that you can search for business relevant data. Yep. And the beauty is the alpha of that is going to be available in February. So essentially what you'll be able to do is you can query the business data of Snowflake right from within your Splunk interface, and then you can enrich that data with Splunk data. So it's actually combining multiple different data sets to give you insights that you would never be able to go out and find before. Now here's what this means. It means that you're starting to bring all of your data together without having to move it all into one giant repository. We now have the Splunk data, you now have the Amazon S3 data, you now also have the Snowflake business data. And the beauty is we're going to continue to keep expanding this. So you will also have Azure data that'll be available within the same time frame for this entire federation kind of approach that we're taking. And we will have Cisco telemetry that'll also be made available. So when you start to think about this, you now start to have search and analytics that can be applied to massive, massive volumes of data across massive different data stores that might each serve a different purpose, that you can start correlating and gleaning insights that were never possible to glean before, right? And so that's on the federation side. That's on making sure that we can operate data at ludicrous scale. But the second area that I want to talk about is unlocking your proprietary data for AI. How do we do that? Right? Because the reality is your data is your moat. And why is that the case? Because your data is something that only you have. Your competitors can't really replicate that data, and that becomes your strategic differentiator. Now, the problem that we have in this industry right now is while your data is your moat, most people's impediment is, can I actually use my data effectively? Can I make sure that I can create a level of synergy with the data, and can I prepare that data so that I can actually get the most value from that data? That's where most organizations, kind of struggle. And so the question is, what does it take you to enable your data to fully harness the value of AI? So here's the really cool part. We're going to be teaching AI to speak machine data. AI now has learned how to speak natural language. We're going to teach it to speak machine data. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Because it turns out that we can teach AI to speak machine data very similarly to the way that we've actually taught AI to speak natural language. Right? And so it's this whole notion of a predictive transformer. How does this work? Well, if you think about human-generated data, the industry started by training this generative AI on publicly available data on the internet. What does it do? It vectorizes that data. It applies reasoning to that data. And then it generates an output by having it go through a transformer so that there's a next word prediction in sequence. Right? So if the sky is are the first three words, the fourth word that you might have is blue. What if you could do the same thing and break it down the same way for time series data, which has a temporal nature to it? Well, it turns out with machine data, you can do something very similar. You can actually take the machine data, you can break it down, you can apply reasoning, and you can predict what comes next. And so that's the concept. And the beauty about this, why is this concept so important? Because essentially, agents can now do multivariate analysis across machine data and find anomalies that you could have never seen before. Right? And so these agents, these AI agents are going to be able to do this. They can correlate all this data, but here's the beauty of it. They're going to take all the time series data across multiple different, it's multivariate time series data, and they can then combine that and correlate that data with unstructured data as well as structured data that you might have that's human-generated. And based on the combination of those two, we'll be able to go out and predict things that we would have never been able to predict before. And so essentially what I'm showing over here is agents are going to be multilingual. They'll be able to speak the human language, which is natural language, and then they'll be able to also speak machine language, which is time series data. And they'll be able to combine those together and correlate that data together. And essentially what this will allow us to do is see and respond to events that you could never have seen before, just because of the sheer size and scale. Right? And so the question then is, okay, so what are we doing to make this a reality? What are we going to do to make it happen? Well, to make this a reality, we're going to do two things. There are going to be two announcements that I'll walk you through that make this happen. Number one is we're announcing a time series foundation model that is going to be open sourced, open weights, available in Hugging Face this November. Right? It's going to be optimized for machine data. It's going to be accurate and scalable. And you can actually adapt it to your domain and fine-tune that model to your data that you want. So that's the first thing we're doing. Now, in order to fine-tune this data, we need to make sure that we provide you the right kind of tooling. So the second announcement we're making is a machine data lake. Right? And a machine data lake is a turnkey solution that essentially is optimized for AI training. And it's going to be enterprise grade. It's going to be secure and it's going to be governed. And so in all of this stuff that I'm talking about, what does that mean? What will you be able to do with this? Essentially what you'll be able to do now is you'll be able to create your own machine GPT. Right? And what that allows you to do is glean insights from time series and machine data like you've never been able to do before, at a scale that we've never been able to do before, at a scale that was never possible before, in a way that's completely done in natural language. You know. And then the third area. So what do you folks think? Is this good? Yeah? Because it unlocks the potential of AI in a very, very kind of discontinuous way. But the third area then is this notion of bringing humans and agents together and unifying the experiences for IT operations for humans and agents together. And so let's talk about that. Back in June at Cisco Live, which is our main user conference, we announced this concept of Agentic Ops, which is basically the next version of AI Ops. And what Agentic Ops is a cross-domain, multiple data sets from multiple different domains. You'll be able to correlate that data for use cases like troubleshooting. Multiplayer, which means I can actually have IT ops, SecOps, NetOps, all collaborating together when there's a trouble ticket that might be open or when there's an outage that's happening. But the humans can also actually collaborate with agents, right? And it's going to be built on a purpose-built model or a series of purpose-built models. So we launched this concept of an Agentic Ops back in June. What we wanted to do was we said, well, let's take this one step further, because that might not be enough. And so what we're announcing today is the next level of Agentic Ops with Splunk, where we're integrating this product called AI Canvas right into the Splunk interface, right? And this, by the way, is a generative UI, which means that it auto-generates a UI, and you can actually have it be fully collaborative. And rather than me just talk about this, what I thought we'd do is, why not just show a live demo to everyone? And so we thought we'd bring up Kirsty Payne, who is our field CTO, and give her a big warm welcome. So by the way, Kirsty couldn't join us last year because she had a wonderful baby girl.
Yeah, I still do. I mean, I still have her.
No, I mean,
yeah. But she's a bit more independent now. It's both terrifying and helpful for travel. Yeah.
But is she in the audience?
No, she's not, but she has already seen the demo. She validated it.
Oh, she saw, she liked it?
I got her feedback. It was very precise.
It was great?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what are you going to show us?
Right, so this is AI Canvas, guys. And I know you have some energy in this audience because I saw you with the T-shirts. So I'm expecting lots of whoops and cheers as we go through this. All right, so I'm an analyst, a security analyst, and I've come in about a suspected malicious internal activity on my network. I can, of course, go through this with the search just like normal. It might just take me a bit of time to type all of that SPL, and it would also be quite a bad demo of AI Canvas if that's all I did. So let me hop over to AI Canvas. Yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff. All right, so you can see here on the left, I've got the AI assistant, and that's showing me all the kind of discussion. It looks like you came in from an alert about anomalous network activity. Yes, I did, and it's helpfully gone ahead and created this network activity card for me. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the assistant, is there any correlation to the login events at that time? And you notice I just said at that time. It's natural language. Of course, it understands what I mean. It's parsing that, and it's having a good think. And it's going to go away and tap into the Cisco Data Fabric and pull back the data that it needs. So here you can see it's investigating the login events. And it tells me between 9 p.m. Saturday, 5 a.m. Sunday, there's no obvious anomalies. So what it's going to do now, really helpfully, it's gone to create a network map. So it's pulled back information from Meraki devices on the network. They've reported no errors either. And like a good assistant, it's suggesting to me the next step. And I'm going to say, yeah, why not? I'll do that. By the way, have you ever typed with your boss, like watching just on your shoulder? Man, that is stressful. No. No, you can come in. It's really cool. Of course you want to see. So here we've got a chart, traffic by user for this period, and it looks like there's a single spike from Andrew L. And if I click that, then, it lights up like a Christmas tree. Look at that. So I'm pretty sure that's Andrew L. Yeah, looks like it. But if I want to validate a bit more, I can also click this Show SPL button. I can come and have a look, and there I see the SPL. And if I come over to the card, I can open that in search as well. And I can validate that the search is good and the results are good, but in this case, all roads lead to Andrew L. So if we have an Andrew L in the audience, I'm going to investigate your network traffic.
Go.
Yeah. Do we have an Andrew L? Did I hear a woo? Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to ask Andrew L. I'm going to have a look for commands issued by Andrew L. Now, as I go through this, by the way, I can resize all of these cards, but I think my screen is big enough. I think. So I'm not going to do that, but I can. And I can take a look here. Commands issued by Andrew L. Yeah, looks like the curl.exe command has been executed on a system. Looks like he's transferring data to a remote destination. Eesh, okay. And then the AI assistant suggests, hey, you might want to create an alert to detect for this behavior. I think that's a good idea. And then it says I should escalate to an expert to block that IP address. Now, I am an expert, but not in this, so I'm going to do that in just a second, and first create the alert to detect this behavior. Again, natural language, right? And it's just generating this stuff on the fly.
So all these widgets are getting generated dynamically.
Exactly. How cool is that? Thank you. All right, and so now I can see that it has created that alert for me. I can also validate, open in search, and check that. Et voila, that's exactly what I was hoping it would have done. So now all I have to do is share this with an expert so that they can go ahead and finish this for me. But what a quick way to get to the root of my problem. And I'm just going to click this share button here and invite. I don't have to call up Darren and say, like, hey, Darren, how you doing?
You just made this multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. Multiplayer mode unlocked in this video game. And it's generating the AI summary for me. I can go ahead and invite Darren. And he's going to see exactly the same thing that I have just created. All the cards, all the widgets, really, as soon as I've made them, he can see them. There's Darren up there. Ooh, and I can chase his mouse around the screen. Come back, Darren, come. Yeah. Darren is actually backstage, guys, so if you want to give him a round of applause for participating. Thank you, Darren. So Darren has now taken the following actions. I've got Andrew L is blocked, and the IP address is now blocked. Woohoo!
That's great.
Yeah. Am I done? No. There's still your most favorite part of every incident to come, isn't there? Writing the incident report. Ooh, how I love it. Who loves writing incident reports?
What?
No one. Gotcha. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click this button here. We're going to generate the report. And AI is going to, let's be honest, it's going to do a better job than I would do. It's going to be more thorough. It's going to format it nicely. No spelling mistakes. It won't miss anything out. And there we go. I've got everything, table of contents, all nicely formatted. And that is my thing I can download as a PDF, upload to my instant database, and I can go have a coffee.
Wow. So hang on, I have a request. I have a request of the audience. Kirsty's daughter's name. Is it okay for me to share?
Yeah.
Charlotte. So what we thought we'd do is Charlotte's 1 year old right now, but when Charlotte gets to be 18, wouldn't it be cool if she saw her mom was such a rock star because the audience was just going nuts at how great the demo was? Can we create a video 18 years out? Letting Charlotte know how cool her mother is.
Can I? Thank you. Thanks, G2. See you guys.
What'd you think? Was that a cool demo or what? Yeah? So basically, at this point, the way that troubleshooting and infrastructure management used to be, it's never going to be like that ever again. We've completely reimagined it, right? And so what have we walked through so far? 3 things. We've talked about federation, where we can actually make sure that you can manage your data at ludicrous scale and federate to every repository, so you don't have to bring the data to Splunk. We can bring Splunk to the data for search and analytics. We've talked about building your own machine GPT, by having a time series model, by having a machine data lake. And we can manage all of this stuff and the troubleshooting that goes along with it, fully integrated in Splunk with Agentic Ops with AI Canvas, right? But if that's too much to remember, if there's one thing that you should take away, it is that Splunk is the machine data fabric for the AI era. Yeah. And so, look, I've been in this business a long time, for about 30, 33 years or so, and every once in a while you meet teams that just have a sparkle in their eyes and they really are hungry to go out and make a difference in the world, and I think Splunk is one of those teams. And I'm so honored to be a small part of that team and work with them. I think Kamal is a fantastic leader that's just joined us. And we're going to do our best days are, way yet to come, because there's the amount of innovation that is in the pipeline. We're just getting warmed up. And the most important part of all of this stuff is all of these technologies, we want to make sure that we can supercharge them with all of you. And so the question I have for you is, I can't wait to see what you will build with your machine data to go out and solve problems that we haven't even imagined. And that's the beauty of being a platform. And so thank you again for your time and attention. Thank you for the commitment that you've made to Splunk. We can't wait to see what you're going to build next. And with that, I want to kind of leave you with this one last piece, which is it's great as a tech company to build software. And that's a fantastic thing to do. And we'll keep doing that. And we're never going to get tired of doing that. But what actually makes the magic happen is the community and the customers. And what better way to end the day than to honor our customers and all of you by making sure that we actually have awards that are going to be given out next. So I'm going to invite Mimi and Lavanya to come up and talk about the awards next. Thank you again for all your commitment. We love you all.
Good evening, everyone.
Lavanya, this is my 4th conf, but my first time hosting the Splunky Awards. How about you?
Well, this is my first conf, and when I was asked to do this and I signed up, I thought this was going to be a tech talk and a t-shirt. This is a lot more glam.
Well, it's only fitting because data is fabulous, and so is Buttercup. We heard G2 and Kamal talk about our amazing community. 2,400 partners, 17,762 customers, and 26,000 certified experts. Behind every number is a story. Stories of resilience and innovation, and stories of people who are using the technology to make businesses smarter, communities safer, and the world more connected. Tonight, we celebrate them all. Welcome to the Splunky Awards. We'll be celebrating the achievements across 5 categories: the builder, the change agent, the inventor, the visionary, and the champion. Let's meet our winners. Lavanya, kick us off.
Sure, absolutely. First up, we have the Builder Award. This award celebrates the developers. It celebrates the command line visionaries behind the search bar. And the finalists are Rotimi Akinbobola, Freddie Mac; Artem Rybanok, Colgate-Palmolive; Burak Karaduman, Garanti BBVA. And the winner is Artem Rybanok. Artem and the team absolutely crushed it. They transformed SOAR into a dynamic engine for IT infra automation. Multi-step processes are now just handled in seconds. The result is supercharged innovation and fantastic response times, a game changer for automation. Huge congrats to Artem.
Next, we have the Change Agent Award. This award celebrates those who power for purpose and translate data into humanity's most powerful force for positive change. The finalists are Stephen Earhart, MasterCard; Sharon Finney, Children's National Hospital; Dr. Ole Polenieko with Nova Digital. And the winner is... almost there. Sharon Finney. Although Sharon can't be with us today, we're honored to have Ryan Brown to accept this award on her behalf. Sharon tackled cybersecurity threats, operational visibility, and HIPAA compliance. The results: security incidents cut by over 60%. Compliance reporting cut by hundreds of hours, allowing the business to focus on what they do best, saving the lives of our children. Please make some noise for Sharon.
Now, for the Inventor Award. This award honors the dreamers who said, "What if?" and turned bold ideas into new use cases. Our finalists are Annie Howard, PNC Bank; Joshua Kleensang, UniFirst; Robert Lynch, Murex. And the winner is Robert Lynch. Robert led the development of an application performance monitoring solution to visualize complex hotel data, intuitive dashboards that turned intricate telemetry into actionable insights. The Splunk app is now adopted by major global banks across the world. Huge congratulations to Robert and the Murex team.
The Visionary Award. This award honors the leaders who fight for every second of uptime and emerge as the quiet heroes behind digital resilience. The finalists are Devin Slick, Goldman Sachs; Shayna Newman, Humana; Jack Schultz, NextEra Energy. And the winner is Devin Slick. Devin faced complexity, fragmented monitoring tools, and data silos. By leading towards observability, he turned visibility into competitive advantage. The results: 50% increase mean time to repair, 0 P1 incidents, and setting a new resilience benchmark for one of the most complex financial institutions in the world. Well done, Devin and team.
And last but certainly not least, we have the Champion Award. This celebrates the leaders who've inspired teams and boardrooms. The finalists are Mark Cook, United Airlines; Gabriel Harrison, Ticketmaster; John Moore, Progressive Insurance. And the winner is John Moore, Progressive Insurance. Under John's leadership, Progressive broke down their data silos and gained a complete 360 view of their IT landscape. With automation that saved the teams hundreds of hours, it freed engineers to innovate rather than firefight. They resolved so many of customer issues before they actually impacted the customers, boosting customer satisfaction and retention. Congratulations, John. Wow. Let's take a moment to celebrate all of our customer award recipients once again today. Your innovation, resilience, and trust in us is what makes everything we do possible. You show the world what can happen when data meets action. And of course, none of this can happen alone. Behind so many of the stories that you just heard are our incredible partners. They are in the field with us every day, innovating, unlocking opportunities, and making sure that our joint customers succeed. We will be recognizing the achievements across 5 categories: joint selling, services, tech innovation, social impact, and Global Partner of the Year. Let's dive right in.
The first award, Joint Selling Partner of the Year. This award honors the partners who created new opportunities and delivered transformative outcomes for our customers. And the winner is TechStream. Matt Clemens is here to receive the award. With 277 Splunk certifications and a 98% renewal rate, TechStream is showing the next generation of cyber heroes what resilience means for their customers. Driven by purpose and perseverance, they empower clients to make security a verb, embedding it into every action, every decision, and every outcome. Let's make some noise for TechStream.
Next up, we have Services Partner of the Year award. This award honors the partner who delivers expert guidance and innovative services with Splunk. And the winner is Orange. Marcus Steele and Patrick Pax are receiving the award for Orange.
Congratulations.
Orange is raising the bar for digital services, delivering seamless, next-level experiences for customers and employees. From managed connectivity to cloud and cybersecurity, their service innovation is powering new possibilities and real business outcomes. Congratulations, Orange.
Moving on to Tech Innovation Partner of the Year. This award honors the partner who builds repeatable solutions with Splunk to disrupt markets and transform our industries. And the winner is Evolutio! Laura Veeder is here to receive the award. Evolutio is redefining observability because reliability is revenue. Through hands-on webinars and workshops highlighting SRE frameworks, monitoring as code, and standardized telemetry, they help customers translate that technical telemetry into business outcomes. Well done, Evolutio.
Now, for the Social Impact Partner of the Year. This award honors the partner who uses Splunk to drive meaningful social, ethical, and environmental change, proving that technology can power a better world. And the winner is Bits.io. Suman Gajavelli is here to receive the award for Bits.io. Bits.io is a 3-time Splunk Partner of the Year, recognized for their innovative AI-powered solutions that help nonprofits. Bits.io helps them strengthen their foundations, protect their mission, and amplify their impact on the world. Congratulations to Bits.io.
And our final award, Global Partner of the Year. This award honors the elite partner who set the gold standard, delivering global customer success and inspire our entire ecosystem to aim higher. The decision was tough. We had incredible finalists, AWS, Worldwide Technology, and Blackwood. All created an incredible impact, but there can only be one. And the winner is Accenture. We have Mike here to accept the award. This year, Accenture helped more than 75 organizations, from next-gen cloud journeys to AI-driven operational models. Accenture helps customers achieve new levels of agility, efficiency, and growth. With over 3,100 experts and 1,700 Splunk certified professionals, you deliver value at scale. Thank you to Accenture.
Let's give one more round of applause to all of our customer and partner award recipients. Team, we're just getting started here. This week is packed with keynotes, deep dives, hands-on workshops, and chances to explore the latest Splunk innovations. Experiment, collaborate, and connect with all the people and experts around you.
Absolutely. And as you're leaving, please make sure to stop by Bots. This is a fan.com favorite where we take simulated real-world incidents and a little bit of healthy competition. Please support our practitioners and stop by. And thank you so much for staying for the award ceremony. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.